Hello, I'm Elif and this is a recap for episode 39 of the series One Love, 24 hours after Turkey and before dubbed for TV. In Olev's imagination, Abdullah tells Pembe that he can no longer continue with her and wants to live the way he desires. Olev embraces him while Abdullah asks Pembe to accompany him to sever the ties. Late at night, Olev looks at her engagement ring with doubt and a bitter smile, saying to herself, "He says he's coming to help me." Ertuğrul, true to his promise to Kıvılcım, takes her to see his favorite painter. Kıvılcım invites him to be a guest at her event. The grumpy and impatient old man reluctantly agrees, thanks to Ertuğrul's pleas. Kıvılcım expresses her happiness for her friendship with him. Ömer happily returns to work, telling Olev that he hasn't received any payment from Abdullah for his previous job since he hasn't done any work during this time. Nizama goes to see her mother and tells her that her father made him lose his job. Without showing any shame, Pembe says she did a good job because they haven't raised her to serve others, and Ömer needs to know whom he is connected with and align himself with them. She says, "I told you to marry someone with a bright future." Nizama, with bitterness, says, "Mom, you always say a woman should make her husband happy. Now my husband is not happy. What should I do?" Yusuf tells Fatih that he has investigated Doa's lawyer and found out that she is a reputable attorney. Fatih is concerned and wants to talk to the lawyer, but Yusuf says he can't buy her. Fatih says, "Then pursue her." Ömer and Kıvılcım's divorce hearing takes place, and both shed hidden tears as they leave the courtroom. At that moment, Olev, Doa, Çayman, and Cemre arrive in a decorated car with loud music, congratulating Kıvılcım on her freedom. Ömer looks at them in surprise, and Kıvılcım feels embarrassed. Meanwhile, Nilay is not feeling well, and when Doa realizes this, she urges her to hurry to the hospital. Despite Nilay's fear of childbirth, Doa insists and takes her along. At the hospital, Nilay is told that she needs to undergo a cesarean section. Nilay, scared, expresses her fear in the hospital bathroom, and when Doa finds her, she asks not to be left alone. Doa reassures her and says she is by her side. The Ünal family waits at the hospital, and later, Doa informs everyone that Abdullah has been born. Everyone is happy and grateful, but Mustafa is troubled. Fatih, noticing Mustafa's unrest, tells him, "You've always been a great brother. Now you'll be a great father." After the birth of her son, Nilay feels nothing and is sad. She lacks the enthusiasm to take care of the baby and constantly makes excuses, forcing Pembe to take care of things. In the hospital, Abdullah asks Ömer to talk, reminding him of their initial agreement. He asks, "Everything was supposed to go well. What happened? The family is still falling apart. My wish is for my daughter's happiness." Ömer retorts, "Did you take her job away for her happiness?" Abdullah says, "You know what the problem is. You're satisfied with her not working." Ömer says, "When someone doesn't interfere in our lives, we're truly happy." Abdullah, upset, says, "So, I shouldn't take your happiness away from you." At night, Doa tells Fatih, "It's interesting. You never opened the discussion of that night. Strangely, you accepted." Fatih says, "Who said I accepted? I love you so much that I'll do anything to win you. Why don't you forgive me?" Doa says, "Maybe my hatred is greater." Fatih replies, "No, Doa. Your love is greater. Think about it." The next morning, Nizama goes to her father's room and with tears, tells him, "Dad, aren't you being unfair? Let me experience it myself." Abdullah says, "Okay, my daughter. I can only pray that one day you don't tell me you were right." Nizama says, "I'm also praying to God not to make me regret it. I'm trying to save my life and prove our happiness to you." Abdullah, moved, says his only concern is that she doesn't fall into the hands of an oppressor. He kisses his daughter's face, and Nizama, holding back tears, says, "This is the first time you've treated me this way," and embraces her father tightly. Doa goes to meet her lawyer, who informs her that to regain temporary custody of Cemre, she needs to remarry Fatih and start everything anew. Doa expresses concern, stating, "But Fatih's behavior has changed a lot. Who knows when he'll make another mistake?" The lawyer says, "This change is temporary. Everyone returns to their original selves." Kıvılcım invites Ertuğrul for coffee to express her gratitude, and when Ertuğrul realizes that Ömer left Kıvılcım for another woman, he is taken aback. She says, "Sometimes people who come into our lives are part of the divine plan. They come with a purpose to our lives. You realize it when the time comes." Doa consults with Olev about the lawyer's advice and says she can't risk remarriage. She states, on the one hand, I can't forgive what Fateh did to me. It drives me crazy when I remember it. Olev advises, then do whatever your lawyer suggests. Mary and Çayaman spend the night together at Kıvılcım's house, and Kıvılcım invites Ertuğrul as well. Çayaman also invites Metehan. Kıvılcım embraces Ertuğrul upon seeing him and says, "You're always my son. The relationship between me and your father may have broken, but nothing between you and me will change." That night, everyone enjoys Ertuğrul's company, and they spend pleasant moments with him. Ömer meets his friend Gülçin and is reprimanded for his clandestine actions. Gülçin says, "If I were in Kıvılcım's place, I would be upset about what you did to me. About how you didn't want me by your side in your tough days." Ömer replies, "I can't do this to Kıvılcım. It's better than making her upset because of me." Nusama is forced to go to the market that day for shopping and struggles with both getting gasoline and buying what she needs. Eventually, she can't afford everything she requires. She starts thinking about finding a new job. The next morning, Metehan talks about the party at Kıvılcım's house. When Ömer realizes that Kıvılcım and Ertuğrul have been together since morning, he becomes unsettled and contemplates. Olev is at Rüzgar's house when Rüzgar's daughter and her mother arrive. Olev feels a bit awkward. Rüzgar introduces Zinu and Olev, and they, who are supposed to participate in the 5th anniversary celebration of the network, assign Zinu to be under Sönmez's care. Sönmez reluctantly agrees to take care of him. As Rüzgar and Olev enter the ceremony hand in hand, Rüzgar introduces her as his future wife. Helen, Rüzgar's ex-girlfriend, steps forward and tells Olev, "We were together for 2 years. We were very much in love until you came along. When you had appointments with her, you would also see me. Be careful not to end up like what happened to me because of you." Olev pays no attention to Helen's words. At night, Doa tells Fateh that she has thought a lot and believes they should remarry for the sake of their daughter. Fateh, who is aware of the details of Doa's discussions with her lawyer through someone he has hired to track them, smiles and says, "You made me very happy, but I don't think it's necessary. As you said, we have a contract of mutual respect. I don't want to force anything. You're with your daughter, and I'm with you. Happiness lies in that. There's no need for anything on paper." Doa looks at Fateh in surprise. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for the next episode.